Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2. Thank you so much for all your comments and naming suggestions. We will probably not do it in this episode, but in probably the next one or two, we'll have a look. But please keep those name suggestions for districts, for the city, for islands, for features, for little mountains and hills, and well, not that, there's a bit of a hill over here. But yeah, please do keep them coming. I do read them, and I do read your comments. And as we continue, we will keep using this a little bit more and more. Now, something that I quickly wanted to talk about is now that we can start seeing it, I wanted to talk about the road network a little bit. So I'll kind of zoom it like this. So these roads here are actively going to become our arterial. So we're gonna generally try and not zone on these roads, even though I think historically many cities have kind of developed with zoning on what wasn't an arterial and became an arterial later. So this is going to be our main road through. Well, it'll be probably through that way somewhere. Let's just switch on. Yes, our stuff here. So we've got one arterial that's going to kind of run here. And I was kind of thinking this one could maybe hug the coastline. Do we go over that way at some point? I don't know. Hug the coastline, and maybe we make a nice feature in this kind of little peninsula that we've got over here. But anyway, that's going to be our arterial roads. It's also going to go off to this side, actually. It might be appropriate for it to kind of split again. And just so that we have a bit of an arterial on both sides. And then we can run collectors through it. Now, if we just take this view away a little bit. Now, the roads that are generally intersecting with the arterials, i.e. Island Street over here, Olive Street over there, Spring Street as well, even though it is not intersecting. Spring Street certainly, because it's intersecting over here. They are our collectors. Olive. Yeah, that's Olive. There we go. They are collectors. So they basically take people from their neighborhoods to arterials. That's their kind of function. They generally would be a little bit higher capacity roads than say your local roads over here, because they are facilitating a bit of a movement function beyond just access to residential and all kinds of other land uses. And so they do. But they can have direct access onto them, and many of them around the world you would find has plenty of access onto them. So anyway, that's a bit of a spiel on our road network. What I wanted to do with this one, there's a few things we have to have a look at. Our progression milestones. We definitely have to zone a bit more. Actually, let's zone a bit more before we go any further. So I would like to keep this pretty low density. But one of the things that I did think we can do is put a little bit of kind of European themed style stuff in there. Maybe if we use kind of the marquee tool plus European low density. These are pretty sizable lots though. There we go. If we do that and we do maybe something like this over here, and then we go back to North American style and the paint tool, and we fill in the rest there. That's okay. I don't even mind it going onto the other side and it differentiating a little bit in terms of sizes and things like that. Okay, so that's pretty good. I would like to keep doing a little bit of that. What is our speed at? I don't think we need to really speed things up too much. A little bit more European maybe. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see if we do a little slither like that, for instance, a bit more European style on that side. And even over here, maybe slightly larger and deeper over there. There we go. And then go back to North American style and kind of just fill in a few more of these. Excellent. That's good. Let's leave it at that. There's a fair bit of low density that can be popping into that. And in order to kind of meet that medium density residential demand, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep on zoning some more of this stuff As you can see, that we've already done it there. Okay, now again, we're going to go with the marquee, and I'm just kind of, no. In these blocks, I think we'll keep it kind of North American style as is, like so. I'm going to go and do that, get a little bit more density out of it. We can certainly pop in one over there, and then once these are kind of slowly making their way, shall I give it a little bit of a start? Let's get that one to fill in the full length there, and we do that one there. There we go. So now we're upping our demand. Now let's have a look. What is going on with our population? So I want to keep a pretty close eye on the population tab over here, just to see that we kind of know what's going on. So we still have a pretty healthy split here. We've got jobs. Everybody seems to be employed, though we do have unemployment. And I think the unemployment, if we go to the workplace availability tab, we can see this. We are starting to generate a bit more demand for well-educated workers. And so one of the key things we need to do, if we look at our one of the key things we have to do, if we look at our progression, we could get in a college, right? Our system here is not great. We do have points available, 7 of them. Spending one on a college, I think, is going to be a good outcome for us. Now, we do need to kind of decide where we want to put it. And things like a college would generally be a bit of a feature. I'm kind of wondering about maybe a corner spot like that. It'll be pretty central within the island. I'm actually pretty good with that idea. We'll have to purchase a couple of tiles here. Oh man, it's in such a way that we'll have to purchase like 3. Okay, so let's do that. We've got them. That one and that one. Cost us a little bit. Let's do that. I think that's a good idea there. And what we can do, for the time being, we can extend Highland Street. Oh yes, there's something else I wanted to do. I'm going to go and do that now. Sorry, I digress. I'm going to extend Highland Street now. This is going to be an interesting one. The question is, we could run Highland Street back this way. I'm actually fairly tempted to not even go all the way that way. Put it up on this hill here. We won't be able to get access to this. So what I thought we do is, if we put it up on this hill, yes, I like that. Then the arterial could run through here, and we can provide fairly direct access to the college. So I think I'm gonna stick with this plan. So I don't want it to be like super hilly, right? So we'll put it in there. Now, what will we be doing with this road, though? Okay, let's have a look what we can do here. You want to try and limit the change in. We could kind of do maybe something like that. Run it down there. Do we? I'm tempted to do a little bridge, right? Our feature here is already pretty good in terms of our landscaping feature. You can't see it now, but you can see there's a bit of a depression there. So I was kind of wondering if we do a little inlet like that again, and then just make this area a little bit more interesting. So if we go to our landscaping tools here, and what I thought is we'll go with a pretty small brush size. Okay, I'm gonna pick a height somewhere down here, and then I'm gonna just do yeah, that's a little bit much. Anyway, we can soften it a little bit. Let's make the brush size. We'll start at large, and then what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll have to soften it a fair bit, I think. That's actually quite low. So we'll do something like that. And now we we want to soften the terrain a little. We'll keep it pretty steep up there. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, something like that, though I do note that we've kind of missed out on things. So let's just drop this down again a little bit. Again, I'm gonna just try and maybe a little higher this time. Maybe say like that level over there. Yes, I like that. Yeah, so that'll slowly fill in. I really like that as a bit of a feature. Now, I want to soften it, but maybe not as aggressively. This I'll be pretty steep, and then we'll slowly soften things around the edge here just a tad.
You're tuned into
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's yeah, we'll soften it a bit more over here. So water won't necessarily go all the way there. Oh, I do love it. I do love it. Look at how nice and blue that color scheme is there. So what I might do is I might just, yeah, we'll soften that again. And then we'll just pick another kind of level.
Humans are programmed to desire certain representations within ideological reward structures, which are entirely apart from the actual reward.
Something like this. There we go. So I think that's just going to be a bit of a feature here. We'll have to put a bit of thought into our kind of trees and things here.
I like the sound of that.
But what we are discussing is the study.
Yeah, let's change this shape up a little bit,
And its effect.
like something like that.
Thank you, Professor.
Let's get it a slightly bit lower there.
We've recently been having what some are calling the worst kind of luck there is. That's right. Today we are talking about the increase.
Okay, I think that's kind of where we're going to leave it. I think, and it looks fairly good as is. So that's just going to generate a slight bit of interest in the landscape here. Oh, one thing that we can soften a fair bit is just these
Did you say panic? She said panic. The death rate is skyrocketing.
these areas here.
I'll stay in.
These areas right over here, just around the edge, just to make it a little bit softer. But I like it, and I look at the, oh man, the change in that color looks awesome. I love it. Okay, so that's kind of a bit of interest in the landscape. So whatever we do here, this thing has an upgrade, right? Extra settling tank. This chemical purification thing. I'm gonna go with that, so that we kind of make this a little bit better. It's one of those things that I think you should kind of do pretty quickly. So it reduces the amount of pollutants in the water before it's expelled into the environment. So that's just going to help that pollution rating there just a little bit. Now let's get back to our road. And we don't need to go crazy here in terms of bridge. So if I do that, let's just have a look at what our bridge looks like. I don't like it. I do not like it. Let's get rid of that. So what I think we need to do is probably just get our platforms right here. So if I were to maybe pick a height here, we'll build it up a little bit like that, right? We'll use that same height on the other side. Yeah, that was the issue. And then what we'll do is we will slope it down, right? So I want to go to like that height there. Like so. And what we'll do is we'll just smooth that out a little bit. So it's like a kind of a bit of a more natural piece there. So that's gonna work quite well, I think. And what we can do, of course, is just make sure that we land on the one side and on the other side. But what we don't have, of course, is but that's okay. We don't have a curve in that. But that's we don't need a curve. I mean, stuff like that is going to be absolutely fine. What we'll do is we'll run down there. Now, if I pop that out and we have another look at our bridge there, it looks much better. We do have these kind of abutments here. That's a little bit within that, so I kind of wonder whether we do a little bit more to kind of just soften that out a bit. Yeah, it seems like they want to create a pretty abrupt cut there, but that's kind of the idea there. And we kind of just soften that out a little bit so that that's our bridge across there. It's a pretty interesting feature. People can go and take a picture and things like that. Now, the college itself, we would like to, it's pretty big. So the college, the college itself is pretty sizable. We can make a nice little feature, I think somewhere back there, to be honest, so that we don't spoil too much of the area. And then we kind of make that a little park environment around it. So if we were to have a look at not that, but our feature here, but I'm kind of tempted to get it slightly higher anyway. So if I do that and we grab like a 50, let's get our brush size a little bit bigger. I'm going to grab kind of that level, maybe that level over there. And if we do, yeah, see, that's pretty high, right? But let's work on what we have as fairly natural. So I want to kind of keep a bit of a shape to it. I don't want it to be a square. So if we do something like that, and now we go about maybe softening it a little bit around the edges. Oh, it doesn't want to allow me to do that. So I'll need to make that a bit smaller here, which is not a bad thing. Changing that brush size up a little bit is not at all problem, I think. Kind of just makes it look a little bit more natural. So now we've got this area up here, which is a bit hilly, and it'll look interesting. So if I go back to the college, do we have? Oh my God, we don't. I hate that it kind of does this. If I do, is it I? Yeah, you can do I, and then you can kind of see it. But I would like to see the contours all the time. So we're not quite. It's not quite large enough in terms of this area, so let's continue to push a little bit in various directions. I'm going to make it a little smaller as we push towards this side. I don't think we can push much more towards the side of maybe a little bit like this. I want to don't go too crazy with what we're doing here. Okay, and now I'm just going to again go and soften those edges a little bit on that side at least. This side I want to be pretty aggressive with softening it because we need the road to come on up here. Yeah, something like that. There we go. So now we've got that natural hill. I believe it should do the trick now, at least for the most part. If I remove that, I still can't necessarily see it, and the question really does come in. Oh, here we go. That's the tool that I wanted. I wanted to see the contour lines. So we're almost there. The question is, do we change it? No, I think what we're going to try and do is maybe align it like that. Just to, I like the idea of aligning it like that. Okay, but then we do need to maybe, if we do this, we'll need to kind of up on this side, and it can have a ridge on the one side, right? I'm not opposed to it. So let's drop this down a little bit again. We take this level, and we do that. Maybe maybe a little bit of a ridge on the one side is exactly what we're after, right? So I'm going to push it out a little bit more so that we can have. So that we can have that area there. So So now going back, if you hit the I button on your keyboard, you can remove that color scheme so that you can actually see what you're doing here. So again, we're still aligned roughly with the coastline there. I'd like to push it out a little bit more this way. Yeah, I think that's going to kind of be okay, but I'll have to bring it back. Sorry, I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist here. Push that in just a tad so we have the whole thing on flat land. You can't fix it after the fact, right? You can't fix it after the fact. So this means we can push it forward a little bit more, and that'll work, I think. That'll work and look pretty nice. So there we go. That's going to be our college. So what we need to do is we need to bring in this road up here. And am I comfortable with tying it directly onto that? I think I am. Though, one thing we probably need to have a look at now. Again, sorry, I'm pausing it. Well, anyway, we don't have to pause it. Just gonna, I'll come back and fix this later. I just want to make sure that we've got somewhere for the road to go, basically. Okay, so if we do that, soften it a little over here so it's a bit more natural. Yeah, I know, it's complaining, that's the issue. So we want to snap it to the building here and probably have it go straight for a bit. So if we do that and that, we've kind of got that snapping going on. And now we will slowly go downhill here. Ooh, it's maybe not that slow, to be honest. Okay. So what I'm thinking is we could trim back this just a bit. Okay, well, a bit more than I thought we'd do it. And what we want to do is we want to smooth. If we smoothed this entire area, right? Yeah, it's not quite going down in a reasonable fashion. So let's go much smaller. That's not quite right. Smooth this thing out a little bit more. So I'm just trying to, yeah, that's a little bit more what I'm after here. And the same thing can go on this side. If we do that level there, and we're just gonna over there. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. We do this level over here. Again, that's a little bit aggressive. There we go. Maybe that gives us a much more reasonable slope to get that road up onto. So now let's try that again. So I'd like to add it in on this side. Okay. I'm going to trim it back just a tad over here. And there's the where's the spot? I think that's pretty good. We can smooth things out here a little bit, but that's looking pretty reasonable. Oh, you know what's happening here, of course. Oh, no, it is. Oh, interesting. Interesting little switch over there. So this guy should stop complaining. Is it complaining though? Got electricity. It should have electricity. It doesn't? It seems to be running through the bridge because there's power there. And then water. So for some reason, it's not actively running up there, but it should be connected, right? Okay. Well, let's pause it for a second while that's a bit of an issue. And let's think a little bit about some other road connections down here. So that's kind of a little bit of an interesting one. We can probably do, something up here. Let's just get...
driving advice.
how this area will kind of look. So let's try and smooth
Please exercise caution if you must drive, and try to stay off the streets until conditions
things out in kind of a direction that makes sense. So if we were to try and tie it in, we will need a bit of a flat level here somewhere. So if we do maybe something like that, and then smooth that out again, that gives us a spot where we could actually tie a road onto. And what I'll do is we'll start it off like that.
More local news today. The tourism board just released their latest figures, and somehow the number of visitors to the region fell by over 20% last
And we tied in. There we go.
I made you.
So that gives us multiple access points. Now we should definitely have this area serviced. Excellent, we do. Okay, good. So the next point is we do have parking immediately. Now let's soften out the rest of this terrain a little bit. I just need to do something with that road. I'm going to keep a little bit of a cliffside over here, right? Let's drop that tool to be like really basic smoothing around the edges here. Excellent, I like it. So that's pretty good, right? So we've got this little cliff face on the one side here that I think is just an interesting little feature. Now we do need to get this road out of here, or So I think what we probably need to do is run something up into that general direction. So the question really is, if we were to do a 90-degree angle, yeah, I think that'll be almost ridiculous. So what we'd rather do is we do something like that. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so we'll do something like that, and then what we'll do is we'll landscape it a little bit. Well, we'll try and make it a little easier to slope down here, but we're probably going to have to do a little bit of this, and even then a little bit of that. Really, okay, that's okay, and we'll kind of do something like that. So just a little bit more. Contoured, and what we'll do is we will again try and slope it, and then try and keep it to the contours very slowly, kind of meandering down. So Prospect Street, and we can probably turn it in and join the arterial as we tie it kind of through there. So that's kind of, I think, the idea, right? Pretty good. How many people do we have? 35 people here already. That's good. That's very good. Now, let's. What I thought I'd do is let's have a quick look at our demand. So we do have a bit of medium density. So what I was wondering is, do we do a little European section through here? I think that would just generate a little bit of interest. So let's do European row housing. Let's start it on this side. And let's do that. So a little bit of European row housing there. We'll demolish these so we get them to come in pretty nicely. So we'll do one block of European and see how it looks, right? You generally want to be doing these things in kind of whole blocks. Good. Got some office demand coming in. We still have a fair bit of commercial. We do have commercial available here. Now, I did see Prospect Street. Oh, actually, that's a nice little collector that's going all the way there. But why is this Island Street? I thought it was Highland Street. So why is that now? Anyway, it'll keep changing. I've seen plenty of people complain about the street naming and how it works. I want to come and see what this looks like, to be honest. Now, this will generate a fair bit of demand. What kind of upgrades do we have here? Okay, so We haven't quite planned out for that upgrade there, but we could move it into that side, a college library. We could certainly do. We could extend. You can extend this area out here, and generate a little bit more interest there. But I'm not going to do that just yet. But there's room aplenty over there to kind of fix that a little bit later. Let's make this thing just a little smoother over here. I do like the little rocks that we've got there. Yeah. That's just a little bit smoother. Just a little bit smoother. That's absolutely fine. Just like that. There we go. So that's pretty good. Now, do we add? I think what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of a corner shop, kind of right here, right? If we do that, see, we get a little bit of a corner shop going. See what that is. Closer by here. We could even do a little bit more in this area. I'd like to zone something a little bit more interesting there too. Now, we don't have any demand here at the moment, so it's asking us for industrial demand. But I don't like to grow it massively, you know? I wouldn't want to grow it massively. Okay, before we continue any further, I think I'm going to upgrade these roads a little bit. This is horrendous. Look at that. This is horrendous. Let me just quickly fix this. All right, and what are we using? We're using that. Oh my. Is that still a bit of a kink in the road there? I think it's pretty good. Now, we've got highway connections on the other side here, which looks a little funny as we see it over here. I'm kind of tempted to just run parallel highway connections all the way to that spot. Well, no. It's probably a bit more appropriate as is. So let's get it at least to become a divided road. We will replace it and make it a divided road, so it's slightly kind of wider here. And then let's see about adding some features to it. So advanced road tool features. I would like us to give us some trees in the middle there. Yeah, that's looking. That's the wrong one. Over there, please. Over there, and it doesn't want to. There we go. Adding them to the middle. There we go. So now we've got some trees coming in as you come in. I actually don't mind that too much. I think I'm going to continue the theme of divided road alongside this. So let's go with larger roads again, and we'll continue to kind of expand that road network all the way to our piece here. And I do want to keep the look fairly similar, so people know they're on Alyssa Street, and that's pretty main arterial through here. There we go. So that's a pretty nice little feature that we've got through the center of town there. It is divided already, so we won't see any parking on it, which is of course what I would like to see. We're not seeing a lot of traffic yet because our densities are pretty low. This is looking way smoother now due to the fact that we've kind of widened that out a little bit. It's not as up. But it's pretty good. Our demands are slowly coming back in. How is our European style row housing looking? It's actually pretty cool. What's going on with my rendering? Here we go. Look at that. It only wants to... Look at that. There's definitely been a bit of a change in the level of detail that we're seeing here. Certainly. Okay, so let's fill out the other blocks quickly, or the other little lots here. So we're going with... Oh, that was a European-styled one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we'll give that one over there and this one over here. So now we can kind of fill that entire row. Wow, I need to have a look at my my level of detail. I'm still dropping a bit of frames, I think. So performance still not super. I've got it's a bit older PC now, but I do still have a GTX NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition. So it's supposedly one of the better cards you can still have I think, even though there are plenty of newer ones. Okay, so there we go. We haven't really made a lot of further progress, but I think we're going to slowly start seeing a little bit of education popping in. What is this? This is a Fatty Bite, a convenience store, which I don't mind. It's fairly theme appropriate for this area here. So what I'm going to quickly do now, I'm just going to fill in a few trees. No, trees are over here. What kind of trees do we have here? This is a oak. That's an oak. This is a birch. That's a birch and an oak. So birches and oaks is kind of what we're doing. So give me, not that, give me a birch. A birch. So give me a few birches. I'm going to do multiple of them. I'm going to just drop that brush size a little bit, because the idea is we'll have a few on these edges here, and then I'm going to grab the oak tree. We're just going to do one or two of them. Well, not one or two, a couple, but a slightly more kind of relaxed, because you can't have as many. And then we have smaller like bushes here. What is this? This is like a wild green bush 1. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. So let's get a few of them. We'll get multiples, and we'll kind of just add a little sprinkling of them around here, just so that we kind of ultimately make this a bit of a natural area, natural feature that we can do some stuff on. So if we have a little bit of a look at our, there we go, our demands are coming back in again. So let's continue to expand. I do think that has something to do with the education. Let's just have a look. So we have the European styled homes here, a smattering of them. I believe these are European styled. So it's just a little bit more interesting, is it? This entire block here is European, and then we're going back to North American style. That's okay. I don't mind it too much, but let's we'll see about getting the rest of that zoning sorted out. Are we seeing a bit of traffic? Residential suitability is what we're seeing, basically. Let's do that, and then what we'll do is we'll go back to a bit of European over there, and I still want to use the kind of marquee tool and just kind of zone a bit of it up here, right? And then we'll just slowly taper them down a little bit there, so it's not too close to the main road there. Going to leave some gaps in there, so that's a little bit more going on there. Now, this area here, we can probably do a little smattering of commercial. Yet again, we do have some demand for it. I'm going to go for North American style. Let's do maybe something like that, just so it's not too deep. Let's get it one away so it doesn't zone on that road. There we go, something like that. Oh, yeah, and there's a slight difference in sizing. Yeah, I like it. So we'll get a little bit of a cluster of commercial there. We want commercial to be pretty easy to find. So we have those parks over there. Can we do a dog park maybe? So I'll keep the tree there because it's a nice big tree, and we'll just kind of put it at the end of that road, a little dog park. Where people can have their dog, train them a little bit. That's pretty good. Looks good that it's kind of joining up over there. So that's pretty nice. I think what I'd like to do is just add some walkways through here at some point. I don't know. That's okay. How's this doing? Any more people? 42 people now. So if we have a look now, we'll go back and have a look at our population. We've got a fairly high unemployment rate, so we need more people. And over here, we're starting to fill the well-educated workplaces. Highly educated is now a thing as well, for which we kind of need university. So we've got 123 open positions. So yes, at this rate, we do need more people to be living in our city. I can speed things up just a tad so that we grow a little quicker. So we're playing this game at a pretty relaxed pace, to say the least.
We're live.
Oh, look at my row housing here. It's pretty cool.
somewhere.
Starting to look pretty cool. I like the European style, but the North American style isn't bad. It's not bad either.
If you're in it, you
This one looks a bit funny,
no use reminding you. Meanwhile, expect
but it's also still pretty interesting. Okay, I could probably just fill that in. So again, with the North American style row housing, fill that one in there. It'll pop in pretty nicely. Oh, this guy's got a massive garden. Yeah, interesting how that looks, but it gives a little bit of height variation. Not that it's just good to have a little bit of that, I think.
death rate is skyrocketing. We've got to get out of here.
You go, I'll stay and clear up the mess.
This is a deep one. Okay, now the other thing that I wanted to have a bit of a look at is just this property kind of level upgrades, right? Where do we see that? I could start a bus network as well. Probably the next episode. Land value, building level. Here we go. Building levels are pretty low. Right, so we need building levels to level up a little bit more, I think. So if we were to have a look at residential, higher level residential buildings have higher upkeep costs, but they also consume less water and electricity and produce less garbage. So definitely something we want to start moving into, is trying to improve that a little bit. And my understanding is that we do that kind of almost wholly through the taxes system. We look at taxation. See, we haven't really played around with taxation a lot. And so if we were to, for instance, say, we're just going to drop the taxes by like 1 there, add it a little bit up here, and a little bit more even so up there. And we'll leave the offices as is. Where did we zone some offices? So presumably that means people have a little bit more access to income and can spend it on a little bit more of their stuff here. I mean, on their homes. So again, we'll just get a little bit more kind of stuff going in. I'm going to do that. Right. And what we'll also do is we will have a little gap. No, we won't have a gap there. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of do a little something like this. And what I might do is smattering of commercial. That's office actually. So we'll kind of taper it out with a little bit of commercial, but I'll do it slightly smaller so we don't run into too many issues here. We'll do something like that, right? A little bit of a smattering of commercial coming in there. Just a little bit more interesting. And then we'll have a little bit of a path that kind of runs. Please don't. Let's avoid snapping for the time being. And I want to make it a meandering path if I can. Yeah, see? Something like that. I do like that. That's pretty cool. Now people can walk from the one side to the other side. And now that we kind of have this all done, I believe we can probably remove that path there. Right? It shouldn't break the zoning. Excellent. The zoning is staying as is. And what I'll do is I'll just do a couple of smaller houses in here. So if we do that, we've got some smaller houses. And we can actually bring a path into the back there again. So let me go back to my path. And we're going to do... something like that. This can be... And we can make this look a bit nicer. And then similarly, we can just make sure we run a path like so. There we go. Nice. We have room for a little park over here, maybe a little playground. Let's see about adding something like that. A small park. No, playground. More playground. Excellent. That's the one. Playground it up over there. People have access to it. And now we're just going to add a couple of kind of sizable trees in here. So maybe birch, maybe actually some of these pine trees. We're just going to go with the single placement underground mode. Why? Yeah. Interesting quality there. Definitely want to have another look at that. Maybe in between episodes. Just a smattering of kind of trees along our paths here. There we go. There we go. That's going to be pretty good. Maybe one or two others. Spruce or two. And maybe an oak. Maybe one big oak over here and one big oak over there. There we go. So there we go. Smattering of trees. I do like the fact that we have some smaller houses in there. That's a pretty nice one there. Growing in nicely. How many people here? 102 people at college. Okay, now we are probably at the end of this episode. So thank you guys. There we go. Education is the focus and trying to see if we can level things up a little bit. I do want to kind of make this area look a little nicer. I'm going to have a look at the quality in between episodes just a little bit. But yeah, I want to landscape this a little bit, maybe have a little pedestrian path or even, just another pedestrian path maybe on this side so people can actually get here. I wanted to do a campfire site here. So there's a lot of stuff, but I do want to just continue the sprawl as well. We do need to bulk up our population as best we can. We're pretty close to the next milestone. We'll probably achieve that in the next episode. And at least now that we've got pretty reasonable demands. We even have some high density demand, but I think we're a way off from actually kind of facilitating that. I do want to continue our journey on the row houses over here a little bit. A little row house district here is pretty good. Okay, guys, please leave your comments down below. Hit that like button. I do enjoy the engagement, and I do read all your comments, even though I might not necessarily respond to them all. But I do read all your comments, so please do leave them. And I can't wait to see a bit more traffic. Yeah, so tell me what you're looking forward to, what you think we should be doing next in this episode or in the series, and I'll see about doing some stuff for you. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.